Political watchers believe that the Supreme Court confirmation of the candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Delta State will signal the earnest commencement of political activities for 2023 in Delta State. With me today on Political Roadmap is the member representing Aniocha South local government in Delta State House of Assembly and the former Commissioner for Agriculture in Delta State, Honorable Chikezie. Good to have you. The hard-fought legal battle for the Guber candidate of your party, the People's Democratic Party, have come and gone, and the authentic gubernatorial candidate of your party have now been established. You can now look forward to the election. How does this make you feel, Honorable?
First of all, we are happy that the matter has been laid to rest. We're also happy that the Supreme Court has done what it is expected to be, what it is supposed to do by giving judgment on time, because it is not supposed to drag beyond a certain period of time. And we're also happy that the man who won the primaries ab initio is the authentic governorship candidate of the party. That is Right Honorable Sheriff Oborevwori.
Many people have difficulty understanding the person of Right Honorable Sheriff Oborevwori looking from the outside. You've been with him in the House as a co-member and now the Speaker of the House, which means a close interface. How will you describe Right Honorable Sheriff Oborevwori as a politician and as a person?
First of all, I say that the man, Sheriff Francis Oborevwori, is an attitude politician. He started as a councillor and rose to the House as an ordinary member. From there, he rose to become a speaker, and now the party flag bearer as our governorship candidate. One particular thing I say is that I see him is that there is hand of God in whatever thing he does. And to me, I see him also as a good leader. Take the case of the State House of Assembly. Nobody has ever survived the State House of Assembly for more than 3 years. He has been here. This is his seventh year as a Speaker of the State House of Assembly. And it goes to show that he has some attributes which makes him acceptable to the people. You know, the House of Assembly is a mini Delta because it's composed of representatives from all the state constituencies, 29, from Delta North, Delta Central, and Delta South. And for him to have been able to manage all of us up to this extent shows too that he will do well as a governor, because we are direct representatives of the people. So to me, it is a very fortunate thing. It's a good thing that Deltans are going to have him as governor. I know he will do well based on what I know of him. And I see him as somebody that we continue from where our present governor will stop.
Your gubernatorial candidate is up against other political heavyweights in the state. You have the Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Oborevwori. You have the renowned industrialist and famed business mogul, Chief Kenneth Gbagi. You have the opposition giant in the state, Chief Great Oboru. How do you see your candidate surviving the political fireworks ahead?
If you look at other contestants, the PDP governorship candidate has what they don't have. In Delta State here, PDP has an unbeatable record on a very formidable structure that has never failed elections since 1999. And this one will not be different. Forget about the names that maybe somebody is contesting under APC as is currently the deputy president of the Senate. The other one is an industrial leader, the SDP candidate. But you should not forget about the fact that structure matters in politics. And if experience is anything to go by, his own election is already won. Take the case of representatives at the State House of Assembly. SDP has none. APC has one currently, or 1.5, let's say, but let's say one, because we cannot divide one person into two. Then others don't have. So those people are going to campaign for him. You take the case of the councillors too. How many councillors do they have? You take the case of commissioners and even council chairmen. All these people will team up together to work for the PDP. That is why we are so confident, and that is why I say that structure is very, very important in politics. The structure has been established long time ago, not today. So somebody who is just coming into politics or going into a new party and believes that he can poach on the PDP, maybe get 1, 2, 3 members to support me, it won't work. It does. Some other persons tried it in the past and it didn't work. It doesn't work that way.
You have always been a party man, Honorable Austin. Let's stretch this a little. I might describe him as your boss, the governor of Delta State, and the vice presidential candidate of your party. And speaking of Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, you've known him at a close level. You've worked in his cabinet as commissioner. You must be working closely with him now as a representative of your people in the House of Assembly. People have varying impression of him. In terms of capacity and ability, how would you describe him suitable for the office he is seeking?
I know His Excellency Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa. We started playing politics around 1996 to 1997 under the defunct GDM. And I see him as somebody who's a go-getter. He knows what he wants and he goes for it. And he also has the capacity to carry people along. I was a vice chairman of the council. I've been in his own structure since that 1997, I've been 1996. I've been in his structure, a member of his political family, and I know that he has the capacity, he has the energy, he has the resources, and he does it with every amount of devotion to ensure that he satisfies his followers. I remember in 2004, when I became a vice chairman, he was able to organize the entire Delta North into one formidable group. And then we met, we were meeting, and that was the first time Delta North came and spoke with one voice under him. He wasn't the deputy governor. He was just a commissioner. And thereafter, when he went to the Senate, we were relating very well. And I remember most of the projects he cited. I'm privy to most of them in Anyocha South. There's hardly any ward in Anyocha South that he didn't touch when he was in the Senate. And I served under him again as his commissioner. There I was able to understand him better than I understood him before. That is somebody that has passionate for service. He wants to serve that. In fact, he is the person that believes that you must put in your best. Even if the people say your best is not enough, you must try, put extra time, extra effort, extra resources to ensure that you satisfy the people you are serving. Throughout our time as ESCO members, he made us to know that service to the people is paramount. He didn't just appoint us as commissioners. He made us understand that we're not appointed as commissioners just because we were politicians, but that we were appointed as commissioners because he knew we had the capacity to perform, and he made us to also perform. And now that he's governor, you agree with me that no governor in the state, no past governor has performed half of what he has done, especially in some areas like road construction, other infrastructures. Take the case of Asaba, the drainage in Asaba, the Stephen Keshi Stadium, the State Secretariat, and so many other infrastructures that has given to Asaba people, to Oshomole South here. And that goes to show that the man will do well when he goes to the federal. And I have no doubt that if, like we know that certainly he will win, the presidential candidate of PDP will win. If he goes to the federal, like we know that he's going, I have no doubt that Deltans will benefit immensely from his wealth of experience. Look at his antecedent. He started as a council secretary. You understand it? Then from there to council chairman, to commissioner many times, to secretary to state government, to senate. So there's no government department that he's not very conversant with. There's nothing you can do that he will not know that this is the way it's supposed to be done.
You are from a local government that most of you politicians describe as a PDP local government, though not without the observable threat of opposition parties. Nonetheless, 2023 is a different election environment. How do you see Aniocha South playing out in this election season?
Aniocha South is home to PDP. We have done the primaries, we've put that behind us. I have no doubt that we'll win election. We'll win election convincingly in Aniocha South. We have never lost an election in Aniocha South as a PDP. And one thing I love as a PDP is that they have very, very good internal conflict resolution mechanism in the party, that they have a way of resolving their differences the moment it comes to election. Forget all those things you saw during the primaries. This one was in this fashion, this one was... Now there's no fashion again in Aniocha South. Every person is one, and every person is working together, except you are not a member of PDP.
You become somewhat enigmatic as a politician, Honorable Austin. Let's talk about you. What propels you in politics and in service?
Initially, I wasn't interested in politics, but when I started realizing that politics is an avenue for you to have a positive impact on the people, I said, okay, let me join a political party. That was how I started politicking. And my exposure to the incumbent governor, right from the time of GDM, made it possible for me to know properly that you must play active role in politics in order to have a positive impact on the people.
A new electoral law has evoked unusual challenges for you politicians, or if I could say, has introduced new dynamics. How do you see the political play field this season?
The issue of one man, one vote, that is exactly the bottom line. It has always been there. And the issue of vote buying too has always been a sin in the political arena, especially during elections. What the Electoral Act merely did was to put it down in black and white, that it is an offense for you to do this or that. But that notwithstanding, we have been practicing this for a long time. And I'm too sure that if we are going by our experience of one man, one vote, we don't have issues. The only thing we have to do is to educate our people that this time around we have to mobilize our people. And that is the way we've been doing. The issue of somebody coming to tell you that they are going to sell votes or they are going to share votes is no longer there. And we, the PDP, why we are particularly happy about it is that, you see, we are no longer in charge of the apparatus of government at the federal level. And if it becomes possible for us to adhere strictly to, that's all the participants, both all the parties, to adhere, like the Electoral Act says, to the idea of one man, one vote, PDP will benefit it more than any other party. In the last election, you knew what happened, where maybe some states will vote and they will stay in Abuja and tell you that it is this figure that you brought, you voted for. I mean that you turned in. But in this case, it means that even you, who is a voter, you have every right to know the outcome in your unit, because I understand that the results are supposed to be pasted at the unit, which means that after voting, if you don't like to go, you can stay and ensure that you know the result of your unit before you go. That way too, it will make it easier for credible leadership to emerge. And I'm too sure that in terms of credible leadership, PDP has no rival, both in my local government and Ocha South, the state and national.
As you can see, political traditions is fleeting. People are beginning to react differently to politics. More expectation and responsibilities are beginning to mount on political leadership. What would be your advice to politicians who are in the habit of taking the electorates for granted?
My advice to politicians is that anytime you find yourself in a position of authority, you try to impact on the people. Do one or two impactful things at your own level. If you're a councillor, try to attract one or two projects to your community or your constituency. If you are a House of Assembly member, the same thing. If you're a council chairman, you must leave a legacy. And state governors, like we've seen in Delta State, there are so many things you can point at and say, yes, I did this, we did this when we were in power. And that is the only way people can believe in all the politicians. If a politician does not impact on his people, you agree that at times you see some persons complaining out of hatred or out of the fact that they want to ensure that they unseat the party in power. But the most important thing is that you can see performance, you can appreciate performance. Like the project I mentioned in respect of the state government under Senator Dr. Toifani Okowa, you can see them, you can appreciate them, you can compare them also with what others did in the past.
I will look forward to seeing how your realities and optimism translate to electoral victories for your party at the polls. Immeasurable thanks, Honorable Austin, for your time.
Thank you, my dear.